may be surprised by this, or maybe you may not be surprised about it, but hey, I've been enjoying my time on Raid Shadow Legends quite a lot, to a point that now I've started looking to the collab units that we were introduced to right once I started at the game, and that is going to be both Predator and Xenomorph. Now, one of them are inside of a paid pass, which I will be, of course, going ahead and most likely getting in the next few days here, seeing that it has a lot of goodies inside of this bad boy. But the other one we ended up getting for free being Xenomorph, and I have to say, both of them, after a bunch of days of just going ahead and looking at them and just really playing through the game and just being interested in their kits, I decided to pay a little bit more attention to them, and I won't lie, I think I'm starting to understand how they do work. So I want to go ahead and at least explain both of them to you guys, and I guess maybe do like a little bit of a showcase on maybe Alien or Xenomorph in like one of the lower stages, mainly just to kind of show off what the skills do look like as well. Before we get into any of that good old stuff here, pay attention to this real quick. Before we continue with the video, be sure to support my channel by clicking the link in the description and starting a new Raid Shadow Legends account. You'll also get $200 worth of free goodies, a legendary champion, as well as 4 awesome epics as you level up. Make sure to use the code Desert Queen as well to get another legendary if you want to, and this helps out not only just me but the channel a lot, so be sure to click that link and join me in Raid now. All right, so jumping back into talking about these cool little characters here, we have Xenomorph and Predator. Now, both of these characters are from their respective movies, but where we know them the most, that is Alien versus Predator. Now, I used to love those movies quite a lot, especially when I was younger, because I found them a little bit cool and sci-fi-ish, to a point that genuinely it was kind of awesome to see. But the weird part that got me, especially with some of these characters, as cool as they were very interesting, disturbing, and scary. Xenomorph being one of them, with of course his actual attack inside of his mouth being Little Mouth, actually scared the Christ out of me, because I won't even lie to you, this dude is fearsome. And lucky enough, or I guess you could say they did very well doing so inside of Raid Shadow Legends as well, making him just as fearsome here. And Xenomorph is entirely just exactly designed how you expect him to be, where he's dealing pure damage overall, and it is going to be afflicted. His damage is mainly going to be equal on the living enemy amount. So based on your enemy's max HP, he's going to be dealing a lot more damage on this, and I think that's pretty darn cool, especially after reading up a little bit on him a little bit more. And I won't lie, once I get this guy up, I probably will use him quite often, because he seems pretty decent with his kit in general. But after I ended up reading a little bit more on this kit, I found out the character ended up having splat damage, or at least splash damage, and this can end up capping 1% of his max HP or the enemy's max HP. That can make it an even more so hard thing to deal with. Now, one of the few things that's really cool about this champion itself here is they have a lot of things in their arsenal. We have, I'm talking about, like, we got stuns. We're able to, of course, proc True Fear, and for some of you guys who are new on my channel and don't know what True Fear is, it's pretty much a debuff and one of the strongest debuffs that are in RSL here. And what this allows you to do is pretty much 50% chance it makes them have a chance of missing your target. So if you're fighting something and they have this on them, they can end up missing you inside of a battle. Same goes for PvP a little bit, where they're able to miss their skill or miss their attacks, which is pretty darn cool. Found out after a while that if they are under this True Fear, we're able to get something called a Perfect Veil, that on this character, they cannot be targeted. Pretty much the little invisible like cloak that you usually see on both Xenomorph and even Predator here, which of course I gotta show the man because he just looks freaking awesome. But both of these dudes who can go invisible, this makes it so you can't really target them. They take less damage from AoE damage moves here and cannot be hit by single target damage. So you're pretty much forced to using AoE damage no matter what to really get a hold of this guy. It's pretty darn cool to actually see something like this, making them more attuned to at least how they are inside of their respective movies, which I found that pretty cool. But one of the things that makes it even better is if you have a person who's infested, or even an enemy who's infested by this and they get killed, you're able to easily revive the Xenomorph as well. So I found this pretty darn awesome. Normally I wouldn't really look too much into it, and after going ahead and checking a lot more of this here, it's freaking awesome. So usually what I'm looking at, from what I've been told, or at least what I've been looking at so far, the skills that I've been trying to pay attention to is mainly the skill 2 and the skill 3, especially when it comes up to upgrading. Now the reason for this is because skill 3 allows you to easily get this lovely poison debuff on the target, which in just all cases deals more damage while also allowing you to go into that perfect feel moment. And then of course skill 2 is the infestation one, which allows you not only to stun but also put that debuff on you, meaning that you can technically revive if you end up killing the champion or killing something as well. Pretty dang cool character overall, but I gotta say the man's pretty decent because even his skill 1 isn't all too bad. His skill 1 does give you obviously a poison debuff for 2 whole turns, which is freaking great. But what we're really looking forward to is that perfect veil, and which is pretty darn awesome to see. Now, from what at least I do know, the multipliers when it does come down to all of these attacks aren't really too bad. If anything, I think his overall amount of just multipliers on all his skills are pretty dang good, mainly taking in account with the Rip and Claw skill here, because this Rip and Claw skill actually does some crazy poison count damage based on his attack, which is pretty dang cool. Now currently I haven't upgraded it, it's still level 1, so I'm only getting the base amount of 15% damage. But as you can see, if we upgrade it more, we get, of course, 2 more 15% damage upgrades and then a 4th cooldown, or at least 1 more cooldown, which is always great. Plus with this move here, although you are attacking one enemy, you attack them twice with the said move itself. And for each poison debuff here, he's just going to deal even more damage. So the more you focus on that poison, the better it's going to be. Now, the good part about this guy is he's not only bound to like any, let's say PvP, he actually can be used in PvE pretty darn well from at least what I know. And the main thing he's going to really excel at is going to be most likely the dragon dungeon, which is really going to be helpful for at least those dungeons themselves. Hard mode for dragon as well. Core areas such as Demon Lord, and then Doom Tower later on being the Scarab King. Now, this is a pretty cool thing to see, like a character like this that's actually given out for free be this darn good. I've been trying to figure out ways to actually get them built, and I just don't have enough to currently build them just yet because legendaries are very expensive inside of Raid Shadow Legends. Now, currently I'm trying to at least get his gear up, or at least get a certain gear set up right now that I feel like could be decent for him. Right now, I want to have at least perception. In the future, I'm going to try to have maybe a good 3-3-3 going on here where we can use perception. I'm pretty sure lethal should be pretty darn good on this guy, being one of our main DPSs, and it helps out with our crit rate as well as the ignores enemy defense. But we have to keep in mind, this is a 4-set move. So if I end up using lethal, I'm going to have to be very, very careful on what I decide to use next. Now, obviously, I could go ahead and use Cruel and pair these two together because then that'll give me the extra attack percentage and the ignores 5% of enemy defense, which I think would be a great thing if I'm just straight up going for damage. But I want to make sure that this character most likely would be able to poison people pretty well as well, seeing that it's a huge part of his kit. So you guys let me know down below in the comment section, because I am getting new to this like whole building characters thing here. I think lethal as well as having most likely perception would be a good one. Of course, I do know some people are using like merciless, or at least I've been told that merciless isn't a bad one as well to get. Gotta remember where they told me to find it. I think it was in one of the dungeons. That's also very, very helpful to have. But I want to at least try and do maybe lethal and cruel, or either lethal and perception. Let me know if those are decent ones down below, but we have to check that out as well. Now, as we already went over our alien friend here, let's talk about Predator. Now, Predator is one of the other characters that I looked at who is the Lizardman. Now, from what I know, unfortunately, as cool as this dude is, he does slack off a little bit in certain ways. But the cool part about him is he's just like Alien. They kind of signify their same horrorness inside of this game, which is freaking awesome to see. But the cool part about this one is instead of relying on a ton of like debuffs or anything, which of course we make sense with Predator, or at least where we make sense with Xenomorph, seeing they use their poisons, they're able to infest people. It just makes sense that they would use that to their advantage here. Predator does something totally different. Instead, Predator is able to not only turn these cycles into his favor by moving pretty darn quickly, but he excels at counterattacks. So whenever he does at least get a successful evade off of, he's getting enough lovely counterattack that you have right there, is able to deal every time some decent damage, which is always great, with some crazy high AoE damage too. He's really good at Spider Dungeon. Now, Spider Dungeon is going to be a later on dungeon that I have to still do anyways, but He's really good at that. But everything else, he's pretty in the medium range, whether it's going to be the Magnum Dragon that I've heard from Dune Tower, Eternal Dragon that I've heard from Dune Tower as well. This character is mainly in that medium area, which sucks to say for at least a cool character, because the guy looks freaking insane. Like, come on, man. I love the dual blade, or at least the blade here, and then he has a spear in his hand. Everything looks so freaking cool. The man has a literal skull and spine on his back that looks just freaking insane as well, that I really do like about this guy. But it's kind of saddening because he's not as crazy as I expected him to be. Even down to some of his skills here. Yes, he is able to heal himself with the first skill as well, based on the damage that he does to a champion, but that's pretty much it, besides of course the passive effect that allows him to obviously evade a little bit better and counter attack. There's not much that you really have to offer on this one. About for most people, this skill is not the craziest, so you wouldn't really want to focus on it anyways, so you're going to try your best to kind of just go for other things as well. But where his actual things do start to turn up is going to be his skill 2, being Smart Disc. Now Smart Disc itself, it does an AoE attack to all enemies, and this is always going to be great to see. It's pretty much 2 whole hits here, and it's going to happen in a random order, and it will increase the damage if it hits an enemy the same time. Now this is always cool to see. It's always going to do a lot more damage, as you can see with everything else it has into it. But the second damage here, or the second hit from it that I explained earlier, will be increased by 15%. If we hit multiple times, obviously they'll have 15% more bonus damage, which can stack up to 75%, making him actually hit very, very hard if he can hit multiple times on an enemy. Now, if we look at least his upgraded skills, he gets those 2 damage percentage, but the real thing that's the huge deal here is obviously that cooldown 1, allowing him to get this even quicker for 3 turns instead of 4, meaning he can deal more damage even faster. I think this is a cool thing to actually have here. So I think this is what a lot of people are going to try to prioritize as well. Then we have the skill 3, which is the combat stick throw. Now this one's a little bit different here. It acts as if it's like a debuff, but not really. I think it is kind of like a debuff, but pretty much all it does is this cannot be resisted. If you're under Veil or Perfect Veil, having those 2 buffs, no matter what, you will attack the enemy and it will immediately place a Hunter's Gaze. Now, Hunter's Gaze is a kind of interesting debuff because honestly, I think there's not many characters inside of this game that ends up having Hunter's Gaze itself here. If I'm right, whenever they are actually under this, they are blocked from being revived. So he is straight up a counter to Alien itself, because if you do have this Hunter's Gaze, you cannot revive at all. You're not allowed to do that. He pretty much denies this immediately, which is always freaking cool to see. If we even check the Hunter's Gaze debuff here, so whenever they're damaged under this debuff here, they cannot be decreased, blocked, redirected, or transferred, and even the debuff itself cannot apply. It will not be negated by passives, masteries, or blessing. Apparently the damage dealt to the champion under this will now make the debuff will ignore unkillable, block damage, increase defense, strengthen, ally protection, veil, perfect veil, and shield buffs. So pretty much anytime you use this, you're going to be negating a lot of stuff here. The only thing that of course won't happen is champions can still evade this dead damage as long as they're under this as well. But he can hit you pretty darn hard from at least what it sounds like. And this is what makes this skill 3 so freaking good. And I think that's going to be an awesome thing to actually see. I haven't really gotten to test it yet, but I really want to give it a shot. I think it's still not better than his skill 2, but it's definitely a really good thing to have. Including that with his passive as well, helping out with the perfect veil, just like Alien. He's going to be a little bit of a problem inside of PvP while being a little bit of a something in PvE. Not too much, but at least something decent. Now we've explained both of these characters here. Obviously I don't have both of them or either both of them built just yet, so I was going to go ahead and showcase at least one of them off, but I don't think it's fair to at least showcase one without showcasing the other. So if you guys want to see a follow-up video on this, be sure to let me know down below in the comments section as per usual here. These characters are going to be really cool. I'm gonna try my hardest to at least get them both, especially when it comes down to getting them up. I just want to get up a lot of my epics. As I've been going through, I've been trying to at least get this epic up, being of course a Rector draft here, and then I have a few others, being of course Lightsworn, and then I recently got Sergeant here, which I do want to try and see if they're decent or not. I haven't really checked and see if they do anything too crazy. I might have to do some information digging on them, but I am interested to see how this does go here. Be sure to support my channel by clicking the link in the description and starting a new Raid Shadow Legends account. You'll also get $200 worth of free goodies, a legendary champion, as well as 4 awesome epics as you level up. Make sure to use the code Desert Queen as well to get another legendary if you do want to. And this helps out not only just me, but the channel a lot. So be sure to click that link and join me in raid now. I appreciate all you guys and peace out.